The next power tip has to do with naming and organizing files in the early stages. So pretend that this is where I'm going to get my images from. Let's say this is a Word document, a quiz I've used, a review, could be a PDF, could be CUDA, could be anything that's got your questions on it. I want you to know I know my answers. They're close by, and so here's the process. So you might use different ways to snip the image, whether you're on a PC or a Chromebook or on a whatever. I use a snipping tool. So I say new, I take my image, and then I go to save it in some folder. Now watch what I'm about to do. I'm going to call this 1. I do a couple of spaces, and then D. Why am I calling it 1D? Is because when it generates, over here on the right, this is my folder here, when it generates this, and you won't be able to read it necessarily easily, but it says 1D. I'm attaching the answer to that file name as a way to quicken things up later. So let's keep going. So let's snip the next one, new, and I select this one. And guess what I'm going to call this one? I'm going to call it 2 and B, because that was its answer. Then I want to show you a different style. So here it's like -9 as an answer. So let's take our image again of the question. And what I'm going to do, naming this is question 3, and it's N for -9, because I don't want to put a negative symbol in a name, it'll mess things up. So N9 means -9. One more of a type. This has got 2 answers. So after I take the picture of this one, it's -3, so I'm going to go 4. The answer is N3 space 5. I'm giving both answers in the actual item. Let me now show you the advantage of having it organized that way. So while I pause the video, I put those files into Canvas to show you now what to do. So I put them in their folder. Now what we do is we go to manage a bank. I'm going to quickly add a bank. We're doing a review thing. I'm just going to give it a number, 4.0 review. And I have no questions. Here's why we did what we did. When I go to add a question, now notice add a question is down on here on the bottom. That was one of the power tips. If I have my window too wide, it's on the side, and you'll lose time that way. So again, we don't leave it out wide. We bring it in short, so it's on the bottom. Anyways, that wasn't the big power tip for this one, but let's add a question. Let's bring in our image. We go to Canvas. We pick the file. Now look at what's happening here. When I pick this, I'm picking question 1, but I know the answer. Now, one thing I want you to worry about is right here is where I think a student could see the file name of that, and we don't want them to see that. So we delete the alternate text, but we now have it's 1D. So when I have the A, the B, the C, and the D, I actually know the answer. What I'm able to do this way, and I'm going to do them while I'm talking to you, is I add an image, I go to Canvas, I pick the one, it's 2B. Hey, nicely done. I delete this out, so it's not provided, 2B. And again, I'm able to go A, B is the answer, C, and D, and I'm done. By having it included in the name, it helps me. Let me show you another thing it helps me with. Canvas, review. Now notice that the next image says -9. So again, I delete that out of that box. And now I know actually this isn't like a multiple choice maybe, but I know to switch it over to a numeric one, let's say. And then all I do is I put in the answer of -9. By carrying the answer with the question name, I'm able to move pretty quickly. So here, there were 2 answers, -3 and 5. Again, I'll delete this out. So I get to this point, and I might change this to multiple answers. And so I'm going to put in my 5. I'll put in my -3. I'll put in 3, I'll put in 5, I'll put in -4 or something. But I know the answers were -3 and 5 because they were included. And just that quickly, I have created questions, and I can go back and I can see, okay, I had that answer carried with it. I had this one. I had this one carried with it, and so on. Oops, I had too many selected in here. Let's do a quick fix on that. I had 3 of them selected. I only want those ones are the correct answers. And so therefore, I have now carried in the answers. The only thing that you have to do, I believe, to keep safe of that being known in some way by students, is that when you get to this moment and you pick it, right here it will give the alternate text. And again, what that means is that sometimes students who have disabilities could set it so that the screen got read to them, so that when it got to an image, instead of it saying, image is here, it'll say, you would put in information to say the image has the following things, and it would get read to them. What would get read to them would be question 4 is N3. Now, maybe students don't know what that means, but in any case, just for safety, we delete that out, and then you are good to go on that power tip.